Is he raising a 6? I don't think he's raising a 6 on the flop.
Maybe we get the fold. Or a slow roll, who knows? Right, round number 2.
Yeah, I definitely want to have at least a little bit, something like king 6 or queen 6, at least having an overcard. I think this hand can just check flop, check turn, and delay bluff river. Definitely don't want to c-bet my entire range here on this board. And he can still have 7-9s, ace-9s that want to catch against my delayed bluff, and I think 6-3 now, where we unblock a lot of queen highs that will struggle calling. And we can just go for, I mean, we still also have something like 7-9, maybe weak 8 that we check down. And even if we pocket 6s now, we can value bet, or pocket 5s. So I'm going for, how would I value bet my 7x and 6x?
I mean, his bluffs now should be some king highs. His value bets are like, maybe he still has some 8x, clearly the 7x. Having a 3 is just really, like the 3s are really, really bad. Like if he just gave up with some kind of 3-5, or has like king 3, queen 3 that he didn't want to bet, like this is like a 3 is just mainly blocking bluffs and value bets. So I like the fold.
I think Jack 5 suited I'm going to be 3-betting. Actually, we're 100 big blinds deep. I want to be a little bit more linear now. So that means 3-betting hands like Jack 10 suited, 10-9 suited, Queen Jack suited, King 10 suited. An easy call here with the pocket 3s. I think he's going to be c-betting his range very small.
This one is obviously like a great hand to barrel. I mean, clearly better hands are folding. I can pick up lots of good stuff on the turn.
It's going to be a break-even call. But with a 5 and 6 giving me a little bit of backdoor equity.
That is not one of those cards I was looking for, so I'll start checking this one.
You will have a lot of 8-9s type of hands, some ace highs. That's a really bad card for us. 10 and lower would have been better for us perceived.
Now I got some trouble. Like I'm like c-betting very, very wide on the flop. I keep continuing like that. Jack hits lots of my other hands. I do have something like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, a strong 7, has those value bets. I'm over bluffing here with that sizing, but he needs to make like some ace high calls.
Some showdown value, and even can now value, like he can value bet so insanely wide. I would if I have a 7 or 4, I'm not folding. But I also block some of his ace 3 kind of bluffs that now want to fold out better ace highs, and yeah, it might be low frequency defend on the river.
I missed the spot to show the deuce of hearts again, but okay. That ace I'm not really betting.
I'm going to check the turn as well. Like we're not going to have 2 streets of value here with this hand.
This hand, it's so easy to overbluff here now. I still have most of my 9x in my range.
And it's a similar spot as we just had. I think I will go for the same sizing.
But I'll randomize to like sometimes bluff that or not. We got to keep in mind that we are splitting with all kind of other air that he might have. So like there is still EV in checking. It's not like a pure give up.
I can't really go that big because he's going to have more 9x. He's going to check all his 9x on the turn. But of course, we have to value bet against his king highs, and we have so much crap, and he knows that.
It's just a question for me, like for blockers again. What is he checking back to now, bluff later, right? I mean, he has ace x. He does have, but I kind of like my 7-8 here actually. Not having a diamond makes, well, it does not change too much. I think I'll look him up just for the split pot here.
And now and then the question becomes, which hands are we defending? It's probably going to be something like, oh, he's calling for the split. Yeah.
I was blocking value. When he has that, he has like ace 7, ace 8 as well. I'm going for a small c-bet here. It's always rounding. I usually have like a 30% button, so this was too big of a c-bet. I've backdoor straight, backdoor flush draw. Checking is fine as well. I would have checked 8-4 of hearts. Now I'm clearly checking back, calling most rivers. The 4 is not good to have, but 6-7, 7-9, plenty of stuff.
I'm gonna check call the river. If I have ace 8, I would be more inclined to value bet.
Question is, what is he doing with like medium 8x? Like he should clearly bet like queen 8, jack 8, ace 8. He does have some check raises as well. I'm going for a nitty check here. And yeah, I think he missed the block bet here.
Okay, we missed a bit of value there. Yeah, it feels like we're both getting a lot of trash hands here.
All right. Stick to my sizing. Clear value 3-bet, 100%.
Of course, easy call. If we want to 4-bet bluff something, it should be a high card, a suited queen, suited king, maybe ace 8, ace 9 off, something like that. Low monotone board.
We can either check range here, we can split things, or we can work with something like this here, which is just like giving, it's like kind of a check, but it gives him a challenge, like it's 20% pot bet. He needs to continue like all kinds of queen 10 of diamonds.
I think I'm going to raise small just for protection here. Against his jack 10 and diamonds. I think he's going to c-bet quite wide, like almost his entire range.
Yeah, just different options. I like that one to just give villain a challenge because it makes it a little tougher than facing a check, I feel like, and just potentially leads to so many mistakes.
In terms of the straights, like if he has aces without a spade and decides to call, yeah, we have some straight backups. Don't we want to have jack here in my hand? I have something like 7-8, 4-3 suited, or like 8-9 type of hands. I'm more inclined to bluff. He can have some queen jacks, king jacks.
It's close. I don't know how much the $10 ante affected. Like without ante, this is a close fold.
Ace check off. We're going to be 3-betting, of course. Yeah, I should make it actually a little bigger with the antes in play. Show him the ace. Jack 5 off is close. I would probably open like Jack 4, Jack 5 off, and not all the trash Jack X.
Not the one I'm trying to bluff here right now.
I don't think we have two streets of value. I think we're going to start value toning ourselves a little bit. That's looking a little bit better.
I mean, now I have lots of potential bluffs, and what I did already is now look at the randomizer to sometimes bluff those and sometimes not, to not be over bluffing. I rolled a low number. It's like you can either do something like that or you have exploitive reads, and I don't have them, and I don't think that he's in the team overfolding camp, which would lead me to like an over bluffing strategy. So I'm just giving up some here.
Let's show him the jack. He's going to see it anyway.
Okay, now they set us on break.
Players are no on break. All right, here we go again. 3 seconds, and let's continue. What I find so fascinating about heads up as well is that in every single spot, your ranges are so wide, and you really have to try to connect the dots from pre-flop to river. And every single street, your ranges are so wide, and it's so easy to make mistakes. So my goal is, of course, not to making big blunders, thinking things through.
So we won't broke our queen 6 suited like him last time. I'll try not to. Maybe if we hit the straight or a flush.
I think I want to have, of course, also big sizing here. And we're going to do that if we have, let's say, queen 5. We can size it up. If we have good draws, ace queen, ace king, immediately applying pressure. And of course, also with my value hands, I want to start. If he raises, it's getting nasty. I might just fold it right away.
Like hands like that, I make like an exploitive fold because I don't see him like using lots of bluffs for that sizing. So my out of position float and take the pot on the river EV is decreased. Even though I have a backdoor flush draw. And yeah, I think just like his sizing makes it a little easy for me on that board.
4-5 suited is going to be a hand I'm going to be 3-betting as well.
I mean, I have all 7 9s and queen 9 offs as well. So yeah, calling that suited ace for sure against the 3-bet. Bottom pair, top kicker, backdoor flush draw.
Not the board I was hoping for. I think, given how well it connects with his range, that I do want to be continuing hands with like that have equity. It's again a hand. If it checks through, I'm going to bluff it on the river. We have 7s, we have 8s. We can have some 9 8s, 9 7s.
Deeper, I would like to bet that just because of like all the equity that is around against anything, plus getting some folds as well. But here I prefer to go for the check. Full break on the river, not sure.
Kind of sucks blocking 4s and 5s, which I actually want to unblock. I think bluffing ace 3, but I mean we're so far bottom of our range.
He can have lots of 10x, 10-8, like 9x, even some jack x. I mean, I'm checking back a lot there. It's just try to visualize my range, how far I'm up in that range.
We essentially just wrap the 9.
Tough for him to find enough bluffs. You need to find a reason to first check that board, which is either showdown value or total give up. If he has like a 4-3 of spades, okay. But I tend a little towards folding here, even if it hurts. It really hurts. Tilt. Okay, so blind increase. So 60 bigs deep. I'll decrease sizing a little to like, what is that, 2.2x?
I'm gonna c-bet here.
Still thinking about the ace-6. Really looking forward to see what he had there. The 7-9, having a club is good. Having the backdoor straight is good. But I think it's just not really strong enough.
I would definitely check back some stronger queen highs, king, queen, king, jack. But if you have overcards and you already have now the opportunity to fold out some better dominated hands that have you dominated, like queen, jack, queen, 10, it's really good to just c-bet right away.
It's like, go for the nitty option again. Call me a nit.
Uh, 50 big blinds and less, I will adapt my sizing. If I have the king and hearts, I might be c-betting.
Ooh, interesting turn. Check, check. Obviously lots of checking happening on that board.
Okay, now it's like the 4 improves even the very bottom of my range.
Decide, probably fold. Gonna check down. Needs to turn like a king 7, ace 7 into a bluff maybe, I'm not sure.
And I think he perceives me also start betting a lot of hearts, and I have so much, my range is just so incredibly wide.
King deuce not bluffing, okay. I think this should be a bluff.
You know, giving him the perception that I'm just passive and tight. And then use my image in later streets and later situations. I don't think he's thinking like this, but oh, send me some love, send me some hearts. If I would have ace 10, ace queen, I would just call. I'm gonna raise.
Let's check how many bigs. Okay, do not really want to stack up this one, but it's good enough for a 3-bet still.
Also, if I have hand like king 10, king queen and hearts, I might just call. But if I have a bad kicker with my ace, I'm more incentivized to raise. Not sure where the threshold is. Maybe it's a7 you should call and a6 you should raise. But usually on these flush boards, if you have an ace with a bad kicker and you have a nut flush, you want to be raising more often. Jack 9 suited, I'm going to be calling with this deck size.
Oh, hello.
He can definitely incorporate some check jams.
Great board for a check raise, Mr. Raise Your Edge Bencb.
I'm just calling. We simply have too much backdoor equity.
Lots of hands on the flop, now starting to polarize a little.
He's gonna, of course, keep barreling aggressively, but gonna show him my jack. Gonna c-bet small. I think he can fold some kings. Is he gonna fold? Maybe he starts folding some king 6, king 7 offs that are fully bad equity.
Okay, so I do have plenty of ace-x. Do have 2 pairs like that. My deuce 4 got there, though I only have it suited and mainly. I'm not sure. We're going to check this one. Go for a check raise. I'm not sure. Overbet is the other option.
And just gonna. I'm probably going to bluff catch the river. It's just too many jack 10s, 10 8s around the 9 that's still going to be out there. That are going to bluff, especially against a small size. I'm going to catch if he bets big. It's getting a little criminal. If he checks, can we value bet? Oh my god, I think he would bet a 9. I'm going for a small value bet. I might value tone myself.
I'm never a big fan of those small bets in position when there is a chance of getting check raised.
I think he's more often on a 3. He could have something like 4-5. Okay, this really sucks.
Opening the door again there for potential check raises is just like decreasing your EV. So small bets out of position are super cool. In position, use them kind of carefully.
Even against the big sizing, we should check call. Just too many hands that we have very good equity hand against that gonna be bluffing with the big sizing. The sizing is pretty good, and we should be check folding this turn.
Checking that board here. Turn c-bets is totally fine as well. Just trying to mix it up here with the flush draws.
And we have a clear value bet. Queen jack off suited would be fine to 3-bet, but queen jack off just better to call. Interesting sizing. I think makes a lot of sense.
Those boards we have multiple options. I went for like a larger c-bet strategy.
We should probably have some raises like king 10, but even king 10 suited I'm 3-betting pre-flop almost always. And he will also value bet the river quite lightly, so
I'm going to check this one back. Not sure whether he should lead some of the jack X that he can still have, but obviously ace X are splitting, not really having value here anymore.
He knows we're only going to have queen jack and the jack and hearts.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't value. Okay, with the 10 and hearts, yeah. It's kind of nasty where he blocks a lot of my value hands, folding hands with the bluffs.
Let's see, larger bet here. This definitely makes sense. I have a nice hand to be calling with. Ace is pretty much always clean.
And always consider if you bet big on the flop, his range is going to be strong on the turn. So I would only continue if I on a 6, on a 7, on a jack, on a queen, on a spade. And definitely spot where I don't want to be. What can we bluff here?
I don't need like those nuts to check call here. I do have some 5x. I'm not wrapping too many nuts here, but like I'm not wrapping too many bluffs. That's why I'm not going for a super big sizing.
Yeah, he could definitely he's still going to call ace 3. He's still going to call ace 4, ace 2, ace 5 on the flop. King 10 suited, we're going to be 3-betting.
I'd like to have some more time to like take you through my whole decision there, because it's really a spot where I'm like, that's not my standard game here, and I just try to make up my thoughts on the go instead of pretty much knowing what I'm doing. So it's even more interesting usually.
Gonna check call the turn. I think it's a good hand to catch his low equity delayed bluffs.
Think about like protection betting, just folding out jack 10 or something, but yeah, the ace 4, like not necessary here. Checking that down, hoping to win.
All right, we win this one.
Kicker plays, right? That sucks. That's close. It's like 55 bigs. Like the shorter it gets, the bigger his edge is. So I'm quite happy to like just go for a very, very light 3-bet call off here.
yeah, even though it looks tempting to have some backdoor equity, the problem is that this board in general is not that good for our range.
The shorter we are, the less I'll try to do with like range, c-bet, etc. because that board favors me, and more like stick to like really playing my hand, because there's just not much room where he can attack me.
Would start betting if I have an immediate gut shot.
Like I can be a little more face up, that's the thing. And now I'm just going for a small bet.
I'm surprised he checks. Would have expected at least a few bets here.
Close, some protection. Clearly getting called by worse. And now I got it. This is now 40-50 bigs. Okay, so
yeah, now it makes sense. He also is now going. I think before, what was he raising before? He was always raising a little bigger than. Let's see how he reacts against limbs. 10-4 off is certainly somewhat the bottom. Even though if you have a gut shot against a small sizing, I'm still folding, I think. Okay, this is like this 1/4 pot. I mean, against 1/4 pot, I think we have to call.
Again, I don't want to check all mid pairs, so I like those that have some nice backdoor equity going with it. Having the 9 and having the spade is just pretty cool. Checking back now and having an easy call on any river, pretty much.
I'm just gonna block bet here. I mean, you also have a lot of 9-7s, 10-9s, but yeah, just. I'm really just trying to target his give ups. Like if he has something like Queen 9, yeah, I mean, this is a snap call. And I think even against a bigger sizing, he wouldn't have folded. I think now we're like effectively around 44, 43 big blinds.
Oh, hello.
With the ace and clubs, I'm incentivized to c-bet a little more often. And without the ace and clubs, I would check back more often. But even against the race, we have a bit more equity. We can call him. What the fuck is this?
Just keep everything possible for like a real 3-street game here. The 6 is like a really, really bad card here. I gotta give up most of my bluffs, but I can keep betting. Like open enders and flush draws are strong enough. I'm giving up like my pure gut shots with some backdoors, like backdoor spades. I'm not sure. Like deeper, I would check raise quite some 6x. So this is actually not too bad of a card when it comes to like strong holdings that I turn.
Like if we only call our all pairs in 7x, we're just going to be overfolding. I would fold my ace 8s, king 8s, all these hands I'm floating. I would probably also more often fold a 10-9. So I'm really going to be calling once more.
Now a club getting there is just like I told you. I bet flush draws and open enders on the turn. I do have 6x, and now I'll obviously bluff. I value bet still 6x. I value bet my flushes, and I just jam my flush draws that have a club. My straight draws with a club.
He jams. I mean, he does have all the 10-9s, 9-8s, 9-5s. Like if he has 10-9 with one club, 9-8 with one club.
And he can read me on like all kinds of 9-8. I'm not sure whether he knows that I'm giving up all my 9-10s on the turn.
8-5 off, I think, is defending as well. I mean, ace king with the ace and clubs for me, like a so much better bluff catcher than. And he can certainly check raise some nut flush draws on the flop. Ace 5 and clubs, ace 7 and clubs. He plays these hands also quite straightforward to a certain degree. Is he raising a 6? I don't think he's raising a 6 on the flop.
Maybe we get the fold. Or a slow roll, who knows?
Sets, of course, boats, but 9-8 offs. Yeah, I think I really prefer calling ace king with the ace and clubs than, let's say, pocket tens or pocket nines. So I think this is a stronger hand to bluff catch with than as you can see, pocket eights or where you block his bluffs.
Ace king. I mean, he's blocking like mainly my 6x. That's the part. It's not like I have any nut flushes.
All right, we won this one.
But he's unblocking all bluffs, and he's blocking king 6 and ace 6, which is like pretty strong here. So I think it's a decent catcher.
So 1-1.